Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And have been away for a while for so many reasons, but I'm here now and I'm back and I'm happy to be here. My name is Tammy. I'm a nurse by profession and I'm a mom of 3 boys and happily married. And part of what we're going to be discussing today is about family life as well. So some days back, or let me say close to a week now, I posted something on social media about how henceforth I want to be documenting and sharing my experiences when it comes to comparing life in the abroad um, to back home in Nigeria where I come from. And to my greatest surprise, a lot of people showed interest in that topic. Apparently a lot of people are struggling to settle in, especially when you have family with you, you have your husband and you have children, and you both are working full time. So it's a lot of people are finding it hard to settle in. And so this topic is just something that interests a lot of people, and I thought, okay, let's share the topic. Let's hear other people's experiences as well. Let's learn from ourselves and learn 1 or 2 things. So that's why I'm here today. So I'm going to be talking about it in 2 segments. The first one will be for people that are back home. They are not here yet. I'm in the UK, so they're not here yet, and they already plan to relocate, and they're in that process already, just waiting for the whole thing to click and they carry their bags and come. So that's one aspect. I'm also going to talk about those that are here already and struggling, and how we can help ourselves and how we can reduce some of that stress, giving out necessary information, because trust me, these are not things that people tell you when it comes to relocating. Like, we only talk about the juicy part, the part that's life in the abroad is sweet, it's rewarding, it's what's it called, it gives you a better future and all of that. The society is stable economically and every other aspect. We talk about these things and we look forward to these things when that topic comes up. But the truth is, we also need to talk about the challenges of living abroad, especially with family. Mind you, I'm focusing on family. I'm not talking about those that relocate as singles, right? You don't have any dependent, you're all by yourself and you can do whatever with your time. I'm not talking about that today. I'm talking about those that are with dependents, with partners, with children, and you want to balance life, amidst all of that. That is what we're going to be talking about in this topic. So let's do it one at a time. So the first segment is those that are still back home, and my reference point today is Nigeria because that's where I'm from. So I can easily compare both. So it could be any part of the world, right? So during my own time, let me share my own experience. I relocated in January 2019, so going to 3 years now, and I've experienced quite a lot that I wish I'd known about, and it could have prepared me better in my relocation plans. Yes, so I relocated almost 3 years ago, and at my time, I came all by myself initially because, of course, as the main applicant, you are expected to come. You may need to write some. In most cases, if you're going to be working as a professional, I'm a nurse, you're expected to write some exams, and your stay here, your length of stay, depends on how well you do in that exam or in those exams. So for me, I will advise that if you are the main applicant, either you're a man or woman, if you're the main applicant, I would advise that you come alone first, right? Do everything you need to do to face your exams and pass them in one go, so that, because in my own case, when you pass your exams, then you can have the audacity, or the you'll be able to like apply, you get the necessary documents, to apply for your dependents, your partner, your children, and what have you. So, and again, because of you need that focus, right? You need that focus. If you are able, come alone, write your exams, earn some money, get a good accommodation where your family will be able to, be comfortable with you in. Because when we came, we had to stay in the accommodation provided by the trust, by the hospital. So you cannot live with family in such accommodation. So imagine you coming in with your family all at once, then you would now have to start looking for where they would stay. And imagine a situation where you don't even know anybody in that area. Or even if you do, abroad life is not like in Nigeria where you can just knock on somebody's door and say, at today, in English, that means that we are here, please sort us out. Like you didn't inform them before and you just barge into them and say, we are here, please, can we just stay for the weekend, or can we just stay for a month, or, something like that. You can't do that here. Even if that person is your blood. Like you need to, everything is by plan. You need to let them know way ahead. And you can't just barge into somebody and make them uncomfortable. Things don't work like that here. So for your own sanity and for you not to be like a nuisance to somebody, and putting your family at risk and all of that, I would advise that you come along, sort your exams, pass them, then have time, and patience to be able to look for a good accommodation. You're going to get all sorts of accommodation, and there are all sorts of rules. Like in this place, some landlord can say that they don't want children. For example, I've seen some houses where they say they don't want children. So if you're desperate because you already have your family, you would have to like take any accommodation that you find, even if you're not really happy with the condition of that place, or maybe the place is very far from your home, or for whatever reason that you're not happy with that place. You have to take it because you are desperate, because you have to settle your family in a place, right? So come alone, settle all of that. And then in my own case, it wasn't even long. 4 months after, my family joined me. For some people, 4 months may be too long. Well, but for me, yeah, at that point, making that decision, myself and my husband, it wasn't easy, I must say. I felt, I don't know the words to use now. I felt torn apart to leave my kids, my very young kids, alone for 4 months. Like, we didn't even know it was going to be 4 months, but to even leave them alone for one day was a very tough decision for me. But we both agreed that it was for the good of the whole family. It was so I would be able to focus on my exams and get a good accommodation waiting for them when they eventually join me. So that was my own case. Now, for some people, for whatever reason, that you're not able to leave your family behind. I'm just saying that from my own experience and from what I think would work, best. But for whatever reason that you're not able to come, I'm sorry, to leave your family behind, then you need this information, because trust me, it's not going to be easy. You need to have that, what's it called? You need to have built that muscle for the tough times, or for the stress, or for the challenges that is going to come with, you relocating all at once with your family, and with all that I've mentioned on ground, like the exams, like finding accommodation. We have not even talked about work schedule and all of that. So that is another story, right? So if you're not able, then why not come on board with your family, but be ready for this. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to, like discourage you or anything like that, but I'm just putting all the information out there, because these are things that we don't prepare for, or that people don't tell us. We come and we just find out by ourselves, and we just try to struggle and make it through all of that. So that is one aspect. Another aspect is if you have children or you have a child, and you, of course, I would expect that normally you, the main applicant, should be the only one coming at first. But in some cases, maybe your husband is also, maybe you for some reason applied separately, or as you're both main applicants, or you both just want to come at the same time, depending on the type of visa that you guys are getting. Then another decision now has to be leaving the child alone to a trusted family member. Trusted family member. That is a situation where you, the husband, and the wife are coming together. So in that case, I would I would I would naturally want to say, depending on the age of that child, to come with your child, because I would expect that one person out of the two of you come, and at least you know that you can fully trust your partner, with your child. But now when it comes to a situation where you are leaving that child to another third party, a trusted family member is a whole different ball game. So that person has to be really, really trusted person. And of course, it depends on the age of that child. But my whole point is relocating all at once with yourself, your partner, and your children is not easy. It is not easy at all. So bear that in mind. Whatever decision you're making, bear that in mind. Then secondly, I'll talk about, now that you're here, you came because you have a whole lot of aspirations, what you want to achieve. Maybe you're the career type and you want to climb to the highest and the highest and the highest, the topmost top of that career level. And you both are that ambitious. And now you've got kids that you want to look after. Childcare in abroad is different from childcare in Nigeria. I'm talking about Nigeria because that is where I know. It applies to any other part of the world that you're coming from. Childcare is so different. In Nigeria, it is not as expensive as it is here. Childcare here can take the whole salary. Like the whole of your salary can go to childcare if you don't plan it very well. That is one aspect. Now, both of you are working. Who is going to look after the child? You cannot leave a child alone. No? You cannot say anybody that is still under 16 or is 18 years of age in this place is a child, and you cannot leave them alone by themselves. Now, let me even now talk about we that have little children. When I say little, I mean children under 5 years old. School starts from maybe like age of 2. When I'm saying school, I'm not saying like primary school, like nursery or kindergarten, right? So if your child is going to a nursery, which starts at the age of 3, they go for only 3 hours, right? So imagine you taking that child to school, maybe, for example, 9 a.m. in the morning, 9 a.m., and they are going to be there for only 3 hours. You have to run back there by 10, 11, 12, by 12 p.m. to pick up that child. Bear in mind, both of you are working full time, which means you have to work your rota in a way that one person will always be home, right? But this thing is not as easy as it sounds, because even though you are off duty that day and you're the one that's supposed to be looking after that child that day, you may have other engagements. You may not be working, but you may have trainings. There's a whole lot of trainings to attend, seminars and all of that to attend. You may have a training, you may have an interview, you may just have one emergency place to attend to as an adult, and you cannot leave the child. So it now comes to you missing some appointment, or you can even have an appointment, an hospital appointment or whatever kind of appointment, and you cannot take a child to that appointment. What do you do? These are things that affect your mental health. I must say, I've experienced it, I'm still experiencing it, and I'm trying to share my knowledge so that, you know, I can gain from your own experience and you can gain from my own experience as well. So what do you do now that you're here, both of you are working full time and you've got children? So it's either you're going to be spending money for childcare, or you and your partner are going to work in such a way that one person will always be home to look after that child, or somebody will be working day shifts and the other person will be working night shifts. But all that on one side. Now, there's this side that you both cannot be working opposite shifts every day of the week. The family is not going to be balanced. We have to balance everything. Even though we have somebody looking at after the child at every point in time, imagine a situation where you and your husband don't even see eye to eye again in the house. Like, as somebody is, that is a practical, like, I've gone through that phase. That is very practical now. As you're coming in the morning from night shift, your husband is hurrying to work. He is even at the door waiting for you to step in so he can rush out, so he doesn't, he's not late for work, or he's almost late for work. And there are instances that somebody will be late for work. I can tell you that there will be instances that somebody will be late for work, and you don't want to be late for work. You cannot afford to be late for even 1 minute. Like I said, Nigeria is different from here. Nigeria, you can, well, I'm not saying that we are lazy, but there are some things that, we apply sentiments to, that after all, it's only 1 minute, or it's only 5 minutes, I was only 5 minutes late, or they can still overlook things. Here, if you are late for 1 minute, my dear, they will start calling you to one side and asking you questions like, are you okay? Is there something we can do to help you, or stuff like that? They will start on a friendly note, but you don't want them to put an eye on you, that you're always, you can't be late. That's just it. Let me just put it that way. You can't be late for work. So, and you know that if the home is not balanced, if you're not in the right mental space at home, if you're going through stress at home, it is definitely going to affect you at work. You cannot hide it. It will show. And if your work is, such a sensitive one, like mine, then you need to be really careful. You need to be happy. Like, you need to, your mental state has to be, balanced, so that, you don't cause harm to yourself or to other people. So that is why this topic is very important. So now imagine a situation where you're both working back to back. Somebody is coming in, somebody is rushing out. You're not even living together as a couple anymore. You're just like coexisting. That is not a balanced life. It is still coming back to affect you. Even though the children are being taken care of, you guys need to take care of each other. You need to have time for yourselves. You came to this country as a couple, as a family, to make ends meet, to have a better life. Now you cannot afford to allow, the craziness or the work life, or whatever you want to call it, to affect that family life. It is precious and you have to preserve it. And you have to be deliberate about it. So it brings me to the next point. You have to find a day or two in a week that none of you are working. Both, husband and wife, or partner, whatever you want to call it, are home. The children can see both of you at home. Nobody's working that day or that night. Let me put it that way. Why is this very important? It is very important because then, you have time for yourselves as a family. There are things to discuss. There are things to plan. You cannot just be going crazy, come and go out like that, and there's no time to talk. You have to be able to talk and make plans and know what you're doing here that you are. If you're not careful, you'll not have time for any other thing but that work. Because there's another thing especially we Niger, we like to compare that, if I book an extra shift, if I book a bank shift, this is how much I'm going to make. And then you start, you convert it to Naira and say, wow, just one bank shift. And of course, not only because of that, people are calling, people are expecting something from you back home. They want you to help them, you also want to help reach out to people, and you're thinking, okay, my salary cannot cater for all of this, I need to work extra. Now, that working extra, if you're not careful, if you don't plan it very well, to take all of your time, and you not have time for a good balanced family life. So I'm stressing this. Have a day or two, even if it's one day in a week, that the two, the husband and wife, you are off duty. You could spend time with the children. Don't miss out on their lives. You're here because of them, for them also to have a better future. You cannot afford to be absent. And when you're so busy, even though you're sleeping together in the same house, you are absent because you're not always around. Both of you need to be present. See what these children are doing, go out, have fun, have a family day out. That way, you have a balanced life. I'm stressing this because a lot of people are experiencing so much that they can't even know that they don't even know how to sort themselves, and they are wondering, am I really in the right place? Have I really made the right decision to relocate abroad with my family? So that's why I'm stressing this. Let us have a balanced life. Let us not, continue to work back to back, and, somebody's stepping in and somebody's rushing out. Let's have 1 day or 2 days in a week that both of you are present, and you can talk and you can play and you can plan your life. That is one aspect, and that is one tip that I'm going to drop here today. Now, there's another aspect of, both of you are here, like I said earlier, and maybe you're making that decision and you've had to leave that child alone with a trusted, family member, and both of you are here together. Don't wait too long. I know it sounds like common sense. Of course, as soon as we settle down, we're going to, go for bring the child over and all of that. But don't get carried away. I'm saying this because I've seen some instances around. Don't get carried away. Remember your reason for relocating. You're relocating because you want a better life, especially for that child. If both of you are here and you've settled to some extent, and when I mean to some extent, you've written your necessary exams, you know that your stay here is, in quote and unquote, at least kind of on a permanent basis, and you already have a good accommodation. I mean, don't wait too long. Don't say, let me just hustle more for a few months, make more, extra pounds and extra dollars and all of that. Don't wait too long. I will not dwell too much on that topic. Don't wait too long before you get your child over. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this topic. I'd like for you to share your own experiences. Just, let's talk about these things. I know an instance, somebody who relocated with her husband. She's a nurse. I don't know what job the husband, in a way, is working, and they have a child, one child. And at that time, in the early days, when they just relocated, the husband has not started work yet. He's been searching for jobs and all of that, but he's waiting. So most times he looks after the child when the woman is working. And one thing I want to say is, here, it is very important that we support each other as partners, or as husband and wives, or as a couple. it is very important that we support each other, especially if you want to save money on childcare. It is, excuse me, it is important to support each other. Don't see one job as, where we come from. There are some things that this is the woman's job and this is the man's job, and men leave certain things to women and they don't care. It's just a woman's job to do these things. But here, and please guys, don't crucify me, but I'm just saying, here we work together to achieve that dream, to achieve that big, vision, that life that we want to live, that juicy, that happy, bright future. We work together as a team. We work together as a team. Husband and wife work together as a team. Don't say, it's the wife that will cook, clean the house. Yes, the wife will cook, clean the house and all of that. We are not denying our role. But wherever possible that you can assist, please assist. Life here is not easy. It is not easy. It isn't easy. Let's assist each other. So back to my story. This man, whenever the child, for some reason, I don't know what's wrong with the background, the health, background of that child, but I think the child falls sick often. And this man, maybe because of whatever reason or ego or whatever, whenever this child is sick, the woman has to come home from work. She has to always take excuse from work. And even though he's there, he'll be like, I'm not a babysitter, or, things like that. Let's just support each other. I'm not a marriage counselor, but all I'll say is let's support each other. Let's, help ourselves to make life easier for us all in this abroad life. Abroad life is good though. The facility is there, the government is helping, but I just thought I should share some of the challenges that we face here so that you can be well informed in making your decisions when it comes to relocation, when it comes to bringing your family with you. I shared my own experience. I came alone initially, 4 months after my family joined me. And even though I came alone initially, still, it wasn't easy. Even after they joined me 4 months later, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. School runs, work, everything in between. We're still trying to balance. We're still trying to balance, but we thank God. Of course, the pros are way more than the cons. But we still need to talk about these things so that people know about them and need to help them to make better decisions. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I would love to hear your comments, to share your own experiences, and if you know someone out there that needs this information, please share with them and let's talk more about it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.